He's standing before the Hebrews who really had just moments before been trying to kill him, and he's trying to explain here's how I got to where I am today. And my suspicion is because of everything else he writes in other places, he was hoping that he might even convert some. It doesn't work out that way, of course, but he's like all of us preachers. He had a goal in mind, whether it was achieved or not. And that goal seems to have been to reach these reason with these Hebrew uh, physical, fleshly brethren of his, and try to help them become spiritual brethren. I say again, let no one think me a fool. If otherwise, at least receive me as a fool, that I also may boast a little. What I speak not according to the Lord, but as it were foolishly, in this confidence of boasting. Seeing that many boast according to the flesh, I also will boast. For you put up with fools gladly, since you yourselves are wise. For you put up with it if one brings you into bondage, if one devours you, if one takes from you, if one exalts himself, if one strikes you on the face. To our shame, I say that we were too weak for that. But in whatever anyone is bold, I speak foolishly, I am bold also. So that's how he got set up. There's a lot, to me, there's at least a lot of irony, but really I think it's sarcasm. I think he's really letting them know, you all are not serving your own best interests at all. And at that point, then he enters into what follows. And in all of Paul's writings, this is totally unique. I don't know of a single place where he does anything like this. But we'll start with Michael Stilwell, verse 21, please. Or 22, excuse me.
22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelite? Are they maybe it wasn't a good idea to pick me. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they offspring of Abraham? So am I.
Okay. There can be no doubt now that the false teachers were Judaizers. You listen to what he says. That's who's come here. That's who's causing the problems. They've caused problems many other places where Paul went, and it's not really a surprise that they would do that again. It's just sad because they've had plenty of opportunity to see that Paul really is an apostle and he really does a great work. But Paul was their equal in the Hebrew religion. If the truth be known, he was probably superior to them in the Hebrew religion too. But he doesn't go into that because that's not important now. Uh, this is despite their apparent claims to the contrary. And there are two places where Paul lists for us his accomplishments, as it were, in the Hebrew religion. He's not doing it, by the way, for boasting, but instead always to set the stage for what he's about to talk about. So, Mike Taylor, would you read Acts 22, verses 1 through 5, please?
And the other one's in Galatians, isn't it?
No, the other one's in Philippians.
It's in Galatians.
Acts 22, verses 1 through 5.
Yes.
I'm going to use the King James this morning.
That's fine.
All right. Men, brethren, and fathers, hear ye my defense, which I make now unto you. And when they heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept the more silent. And he said, I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, the city of Sicily, yet brought up in this city, the street at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous towards God, as you all are this day. And I persecuted this way unto death, binding and delivering into prisons both men and women. As also the high priest doth bear me witness, and all the state of the elders, from whom also I received letters unto the brethren, and went to Damascus to bring them which were there bound unto Jerusalem for to be punished.
All right, so that's pretty clear. Again, he's not bragging there. He's standing before the Hebrews who really had just moments before been trying to kill him, and he's trying to explain here's how I got to where I am today. And my suspicion is because of everything else he writes in other places, he was hoping that he might even convert some. It doesn't work out that way, of course, but he's like all of us preachers. He had a goal in mind, whether it was achieved or not. And that goal seems to have been to reach these reason with these Hebrew uh, physical, fleshly brethren of his, and try to help them become spiritual brethren. But it doesn't work out. Chip, if you'd read Philippians chapter 3, verses 4 through 6.
Although I myself have confidence even in the flesh, if anyone else has a mind to put confidence in the flesh, I far more. Circumcised the 8th day, of the nation of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, as to the law, a Pharisee, as to zeal, a persecutor of the church, as to the righteousness which is in the law, found blameless.
Go ahead and read 7.
But whatever things were gained to me, those things I have counted as loss for the sake of Christ.
Okay, so again, he's up against these Judaizing teachers, even in Philippi, and he's saying, "Look, you want to talk about fleshly accomplishments? I've got them. You want to talk about what kind of Hebrew you are? I can match you, stride for stride." But then he says, none of that matters anymore, because ultimately it's being in Christ. That's what really matters. All right. So, Michael Stillwell, if you read 2 Corinthians 11:23.
23. Are they servants of Christ? I am a better one. I am talking like a madman, with far greater labors, far more imprisonments, with countless beatings, and often near death.
Yeah, okay. So here he goes. He's going to tell he's a match him stride for stride again, and there's nobody going to be able to compete with this. Paul was also their superior in following Christ. It wasn't just that he was a Hebrew, which he was, but in Christ he was even greater than they were. They might have said he was mad, or we'd say crazy, for making such a statement. And he admitted that making a statement like that as an argument was really insane. I mean, who would go down this road to list off all of their torment and torture that they went through? What's the point? But I want us to remember, and let's see, Michael Stillwell, since you're there, turn back to chapter 10 and read verses 15 and 16.
We do not boast beyond limit in the labors of others, but our hope is that your faith increases. Our area of influence among you may be greatly enlarged, so that we may preach the gospel in lands beyond you without boasting of work already done in another's area of influence.
So these fellows, these Judaizing teachers, lived off of another man's labors. They actually made claim to the great work other people had done. But Paul, not Paul, he excelled in real labor, and that's the way he starts this 23rd verse. Now, toward the end of that verse, he begins to list suffering, not accomplishments, as proof of his service to the Lord. And so, Mike Taylor, if you'll read verses 24 and 25.
All right. Yeah, and Ernest is in the background until he pops up, then I will put him back on the screen.
Okay.
All
right.
But he should be able to hear you.
Okay.
Of the Jews, 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods. Once was I stoned. Thrice was I suffered shipwreck. A night and a day I have been in the deep.
Oh, and this list, every time I read it, I just marvel at what all he went through to serve Christ. As he begins the list of sufferings, he says he endured 39 stripes from the Jews on 5 different occasions. Now, in Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 3, the law of Moses limits the number of stripes someone can be given to 40, but the Jews left off the last one. And the reason they did is they didn't want to break the law by an accidental miscount. Because if they did that, then they got the 40 stripes. They got 40 stripes as well. And they knew what that was all about. So, no, not going down that road. 3 times he was beaten with rods, which really is kind of the Roman form of scourging, you might say. And I wonder if one of those was in Acts 16. I've listed that here at Philippi when they beat he and Silas and put them into prison. He was stoned once, which was usually a Jewish punishment for blasphemy, and that, of course, is in Acts